Hi, as I've already announced, we are going back at sea. I'm starting a new series with the construction of modern US Navy warship, USS Freedom. Before unboxing, I will briefly present its history and tell something about its characteristic and basic tactical and technical data. USS Freedom LCS-1 is the lead ship of the Freedom-class littoral combat ship for the United States Navy. It is a modern ship designed to operate in coastal or littoral waters. She was laid down in June 2005, launched a year later, and she entered service in November 2008. The ship is about 378 feet long and almost 58 feet wide. Full displacement reached 3,400 tons. And the maximum speed is around 47 knots. USS Freedom is fast and highly maneuverable ship built with the use of the latest technologies. She's highly automated, able to launch and recover manned and unmanned vehicles. Its modular design enables to adapt variable equipment depending on the type of mission. Freedom is designed to be a fast, maneuverable and networked surface combatant for missions such as anti-mine warfare, anti-submarine warfare, surface warfare and humanitarian relief. The unit is powered by two diesel engines, two Rolls-Royce MT-30 gas turbines with a capacity of 96,550 horsepower and four acoustically optimized Rolls-Royce water jets. It's an almost revolutionary drive system in terms of performance, but it was necessary to achieve the required speed and maneuverability. The electricity is provided by four diesel generators. USS Freedom has a monolith steel hull designed to meet very high speed and maneuverability requirements, which allows it to reach a range of 1,500 nautical miles at 50 knots and 3,500 nautical miles at economic speed. The hulls of high-speed commercial coastal ferries were found to be an excellent model for littoral ships during the ongoing construction program. The LCS-1 was designed on the basis of the hull concept of the commercial Italian ferry Fincantieri Cantieri Navali Italiani with a displacement of 1,100 tons and Jupiter ferries. The hull has built-in aft gates, stern ramp, side launch gates and a crane for taking off and recovering of manned and unmanned vehicles. In order to facilitate the achievement of high speeds and accelerations when the propulsion units achieve high powers, the hull monolith is lifted above the water as much as possible. The combat management system is based on Lockheed Martin Combat's 21 architecture. The ship is also equipped with a C-band radar for space observation and guidance, as well as soft-kill weapon system launchers and network-centric data processing system. The design incorporates a large reconfigurable C-frame to allow rapidly interchangeable mission modules, a flight deck with integrated helicopter launch, recovery and handling system, and the capability to launch and recover boats from both the stern and the side. The flight deck is 1.5 times the size of that of a standard surface ship and uses a trigon traversing system to move helicopters in and out of the hangar. The ship has two ways to launch and recover various mission packages, a stern ramp and a starboard side door near the waterline. The mission module bay has a 3-axis crane for positioning modules or cargo. The foredeck has a modular weapons zone, which can be used for a BAE Systems Mark 110 57mm gun or missile launcher. A rolling airframe missile launcher is mounted above the hangar for short-range defense against aircraft and cruise missiles, and 12.7mm gun mounts are provided topside. The USS Freedom is not easily classified into existing categories. It comes close to classifying it as a frigate, however it's not a typical ship of this class. It seems that the classification of the ship as LCS is the result of an attempt to convince Congress and taxpayers to introduce the new quality to the US Navy. The slightly smaller but similar Swedish Visby class ships are classified in the traditional corvette class. The only thing that distinguishes American and Swedish ships is the ability to reconfigure their weapons in such a way that they can perform tasks previously reserved for completely different classes. As of December 2019, a total of 35 littoral combat ships were planned, including 16 Freedom-class ships and 19 Independence-class ships. Ships were assigned to Littoral Combat Ship Squadron 1, based in San Diego, California, or Littoral Combat Ship Squadron 2, based in Mayport, Florida. In February 2020, it was announced that the Navy was planning to withdraw Freedom and its sister USS Fort Worth after 12 and 8 years of service respectively. On June 2020, the Navy announced that Freedom would be decommissioned on 21st March 2021. So much for the ship. Let's finally move on to unboxing. I bought the model for about $32 US. It was produced by the Chinese company BRONCO Models. It is a 1 to 350 scale model, so its length should be less than 13 inches. The box itself looks okay. There is a nice artwork of the ship on it. Although it could be much smaller, it's not the most important thing. Let's check the moldings. At first look, they seem to be of good quality, although in my opinion the level of detail could be higher. On the other hand, there are elements that look satisfactory, such as this boat. Next, molding with a helicopter or an unmanned vehicle elements. The transparent elements of an aircraft fuselage also looks very good. The ship can be built in a waterline version or with a full hull. I will probably choose the first option. A big advantage is the protection of all elements. Tightly wrapped, and in the case of the superstructure, it was additionally secured with a soft sponge. The superstructure itself looks very good. We will find a lot of details on it. The set also includes a stand, which I would rather not use. Decal set. Compared to the previous model of FA-18, as you can see, this time I will take a break from decals. There are only a few of them. We also have photo-etched parts, a plate with the name of the ship. What is very nice, the plates are also nicely protected with foil. Finally, the instructions. The first short one with the basic principles of working with the model and a list of markings. And the main instruction. On the first page there is a short description of the ship in 3 languages. Then a list of necessary paints and kit elements. And a standard step-by-step description of the assembly. At the end we would find the painting and the decal diagrams. The manual seems to be very clear. Molding's quality also seems to be okay. After the last model, I am curious how it will be with the matching of elements. All of this is still ahead of me. We are still far from launching the ship, but I am already inviting you to follow this series. Hope the model will be interesting. At the end, I also plan to do a simple diorama, so I hope you won't be disappointed. In the meantime, hold on and see you soon. Bye.